Alright. I am Best LP Uganda, and this is just going to be a quick introduction to my channel and what I'm all about. So, first off, I'm going to talk about the goals. This is a learning channel. If you want to learn about League of Legends, preferably mid lane, as you can tell by this nice background picture here, preferably mid lane, I will be able to offer you lots of advice. Uh, it's tailored mostly towards people from bronze to gold, because those are the people who I can help the most. You may see me do some replay reviews for higher elo players, but the bronze to gold is the target audience. Um, I'm going to be doing 4 different types of videos here. I'm going to be doing replay reviews, high elo analysis, champion function videos, and general concept videos. So replay reviews. This is where I go over replays from specific people who ask me to review their replays. I find oftentimes that people get advice and they just don't know how to implement it. And when it comes to League, the best way to learn it is just to play the game. And I think this is the best way to merge advice and gameplay. Because I'll be able to give you advice as you play. Because it's one thing to just ask for advice and have someone, tell you what to do, but it's another thing to actually see the commentary overlaid onto your replay. Because then you understand the application of what I'm saying. You can see what I mean when I tell you there's a certain way you need to play a team fight, and I can slow it down and I can go over it and I can explain exactly what I mean when I give you a certain piece of advice. Because there are, just pieces of advice that people give you or things that you need to do in League of Legends that happen on, a zero point 0.5 second time scale. And that's not something that's easy to put into words. You can't just say, you need to do this at exactly this time, because that doesn't process to people. They need to see how it applies to them. So that's the goal of replay reviews, is just giving you advice in a way that you can see the application of. Um, the next type of video that I'm going to be doing is the high elo replay review, or just high elo analysis. I'd say it's not a review because I'm not looking for the flaws in their play. Instead, I'm looking for what they do well. Something that people have told me over time is that they'll look at professional players or high elo players and they won't see a difference between the way those professional players play and the way that they play. And there is a difference. There is a big difference between low elo and high elo. There's a big difference between platinum and masters. There's a big difference between fucking diamond and masters. Um, and a lot of times you just can't see it on your own because people are biased towards themselves. It's how we are. Unfortunately, it's the human condition. But I hope if I can point it out that helps you understand what they're doing better, the better decisions that they make overall. Because a lot of what pro players do is small stuff, right? It's a bunch of small decisions that don't really seem like much because it's not that they're making mistakes, right? Like it's easy to point out mistakes, but it's hard to point out proper play because you don't recognize it. It just looks normal. Like everyone can point out something that doesn't fit, but when you just see normal proper play, no one thinks about it. And so that's my goal with this. My goal is to point out what they're doing well and to hopefully help you realize that you're not doing everything that they're doing well. I mean, you may be good at one thing, but the chances that you're also good at back timings, that you're also good at wave control, that you're also good at ward timings, that you're also good at roam timings, it's really low. You're probably not good at all those things because if you were, you wouldn't be in lower elo. So that's what I hope to accomplish with these videos. The next videos are champion function videos, and this is kind of a weird concept that I haven't really seen anyone address before. But these are going to be short videos that just run down how a champion works, what their function is in the game. And it's important for you to understand this because you need to understand how to play against them and you need to understand how to play with them, right? A lot of times I encounter low elo players and they're wondering why they're not winning games or whatever when they have good mechanics or good CS or something like that. And usually it's because they don't understand the game, right? I know when I was bronze, I saw Mordekaiser maybe like a total of 1 time in my entire life. And every time I played against a Mordekaiser for about the first 10 times, I lost because I had no fucking clue what the dude was doing. or how he worked, or what his goals were, and what his strengths were, and what his weaknesses were. So what I'm ideally going to point out with champion function videos is how that champion wins, how that champion loses, what their strengths are, and what their weaknesses are. And I'm also going to give you an overview of their kit. Because if you can understand just how a champion works contextually, that's all you really need to know. You don't need to play every champion in the game, because if you play against them enough or you learn enough about them, that will be what you need in order to play against them, in order to win games, and just get better as a player. And the last type of video that I intend to do is general concept videos. And these are in order of commonality, by the way, how much I expect to make of certain videos. General concept videos are kind of what they sound like. I've done a few replay reviews at this point, and there are some things that I find myself repeating a lot. I think in every single mid lane replay review I've done, I have pointed out how you're supposed to roam, and I'm going to make a video on that. That's the kind of concept I'm going to approach. How do you roam? How do you gank? How do you roam as a support? What are ward timings? How do you back properly? How do you time your backs properly? Those sorts of things. Those are things that I see all the time that I intend to cover and give you just a little bit of an overview on, because people don't generally address those singularly. Because they are very contextual things. Like there are variations that have to happen during the course of a game in order for them to work, but people don't address them as just like a basic concept, because there are basic ways you're supposed to approach things. And finesse is something that only comes with time. Proper timings and things like that come with time. But if you have a general idea of what you're supposed to do, then that'll help you. That'll give you a place to start. So that's the purpose of these videos. And then, lastly, we have a disclaimer. I am a human being. I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. If I make a mistake in a video where I am blatantly wrong on something, I will correct it. There will be a little annotation saying, actually, I did not see that you had MR glyphs. That was my mistake. Or something like that. Or, I actually didn't see that the person had used their ult earlier. That is my mistake. And it's just small little tidbits like that I'm bound to mess up on after a while. Because at the end of the day, when I go over replays, I view them once before I go over them. And when I do go over them, it's one-shot commentary. There's not a lot of editing because I'm garbage at editing. So, I'm bound to fuck up, but I am going to do my best to fix that. The other thing is that I am not Challenger. So when I tell you you should have done X in a fight, there are probably 10 to 20 other ways you could have played the fight that are better than what I'm telling you. I'm just giving you a better option off the top of my head. If you really want to look at it, if you really want to know exactly how to play things out in certain situations, you'd have to sit down and watch pro replays all day. And you just have to watch a lot of them in general and see what they do and see how they respond to different things. And if you have the time to do that, you can. I'm just giving you a general overview. I'm just trying to give you a better direction to head in, to get you to a place that's higher elo than what you are now, essentially. So I am not going to give you the perfect answer to every scenario. Sometimes I will, maybe, hopefully. I'd like to think so. But more often than not, there are better ways to play fights than I describe. But most of the ways that I describe are probably better decisions than what you made, right? So that's my disclaimer. This is my channel. I hope you enjoy some of the videos, and have a good day.